Hey, what's up, people? How's it going now? Hey, I'm going to tell you about the story I was talking about with Paul Stanley. See, in this neighborhood I'm in right now, even when I was living back in the 1980s in my mother's house, I was on 62nd Street. That was 344 East 62nd Street. That was when I was a child, up into a teenager. I think I was about 17 years old at the point in my life that I'm about to talk about. Yeah, like 1987. You figure I was born in 1968. So 1988, I'd be 20. So I was like 17, maybe 18 years old or something like that. Possibly 18, 19, in that area, late teens. And I was writing graffiti on 60th Street between 1st and York Avenue. Like I said, I lived on 62nd, so it's only a few blocks away from where I live, between 1st and York Avenue. I had a lot of graffiti on that block. There was a gas station on the corner, and then you had like a parking lot. It's a building parking lot, not like a parking lot outside. You drive your car inside up a ramp and you park your car. Then you had a gas station. In between the gas station and the parking lot was a 4 foot gap, like a space, like an alleyway. This was sealed off, cinder blocks. And I wrote a tag there. I don't know, the tag lasted for a while and then they buffed it. So I walked by and I said, oh shit, I caught a tag there again, or whatever time span went between the time they buffed it and the time I redid it. And then they buffed it again. So I'm like, oh shit, I don't know, 17 years old. I wanted to have that spot. So I go back over to get it. And as I'm about to catch the spot, I notice people walking towards me. So I said, let me let them pass by. It's a dead block. It goes to an angle downhill. It's the same block that those pictures floating around. It's like an RD bubble letter I did with colors. And a bunch of people went over, like Chino, BYI, TKTNR, Ben, SP, all these people crossed it out. PFV, OD, BTS, they all scribbled out. But that's the next building over from the building I'm talking about. And they're walking down the block. As they get about catch right to me, I say, oh shit, that's Paul Stanley. Because in that neighborhood, you have like pizza parlors. Well, you have Sutton Pizza, you have John and Tony's Pizza, mainly in Sutton Pizza. And you'd have pictures of movie stars that would enter into these pizza parlors. And I remember seeing that picture of him, like a headshot. Like when you're a movie star or an actor, you give out like a headshot back then, this before the internet and stuff. You give out like a headshot, like a resume, I guess, of the movies you've been in, or like a card to get in touch with an agent, whatever the hell they do. It's always a headshot. You would see people from that neighborhood, like people that I've seen myself in the neighborhood, would be well right up the block from my mother. Like I lived between First and Second Avenue on 62nd Street, or between Second and Third Avenue on 62nd Street. On that block alone, you had Bill Cosby. He lived there. Don King lived on that block. Ashford, from Ashford and Simpson. And somewhere else in that neighborhood, you had Jack Klubman, which was Oscar from The Odd Couple, the TV show The Odd Couple, and also from the TV show Quincy. Um, Hell, when my son was going to school, that dude that used to play in Taxi, I don't know his real name, but the TV show Taxi, he's a fucking famous actor, man. He's in everything. When my son was in like kindergarten, I think his son or grandson, I guess the guy's got to be in his 80s or something. But yeah, and even when my son was going to school, Alex Rieger from Taxi, remember that TV show Taxi? Oh man, this dude's in everything, man. I could think of like a million movies. And right now I'm just on here and I just remembered now, yeah, he would be picking up a child from the same school, PS 183. Or my son would be going to PS 183. And a lot of people live in that neighborhood all throughout. Rodney Dangerfield, we talk about him up on 76th Street there, York Avenue, where Michael Rappaport lives in the same building. Yeah, a lot of movie stars, a lot of news anchor men, a lot of news anchor women, a lot of TV. Brooke Shields at one point, early on in her career, was living in this neighborhood. A lot of people, man. So anyway, I see, oh shit, that's Paul Stanley coming. Yeah, I see him walking around the neighborhood and stuff. I go, wow, Paul Stanley. So he passes by. So it's going down. I honestly didn't take notice to who he was with. I don't think it was any of the other band members. I believe it was two women. I mean, it's hard to tell back then. I mean, even Paul Stanley's hair was like down to here. You know, you could tell by his jaw. You know, like I said, these headshots, people would give out these headshots in the pizza parlor and stuff. Because in reality, not many people would actually know Paul Stanley unless you're like really following the group or something like that. Because, you know, his face is always painted. He has a star on his eye and stuff. But, you know, he's got very dominant jaw features. They're pretty dominant. Like you see that. I'm like, oh shit, there's Paul Stanley. You know, so, you know, he passes by. They walk past me this way. They're talking. I had a little dog with them. And like I said, I don't know who he was with. I believe it was two women. It was definitely one of the other person that was with him was a woman because I heard the voice with the dog. And the other person I really didn't notice. I mean, they all had long hair. It was cold out, so they had long coats on. He didn't have a long coat on. He had like I don't know, something up to his waist. Yeah, I remember real skinny legs. But he was tall, big dude. He had like pointy like shoes that like people wear in Texas. Yeah. But he looked tall, like very tall, but skinny, you know, like real skinny legs. He looked taller than me. I mean, I was what, 17 years old. I mean, I'm 6'4" and 3/4 of an inch or something. So I'm tall, but yeah, I haven't reached my full growth at that point in my life. So he appeared tall to me. I don't know if he's a tall man or not. I didn't research into that. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't wearing heels like the Kiss. You know, they wear like fucking huge heels and shit. I mean, he definitely didn't have that on, you know. But yeah, his shoes did come to like a point. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he goes back. I go that way. So I catch my tag. I just do an RD tag, you know. And so as I'm done, you know, I look around. All of a sudden, I see them walking back up to me. I figured they would still be walking down. I'm like, the momentum in my mind, I'm like, they're gone. It's good. And, you know, as soon as I probably turned my back on them, they probably turned back and started walking back up the block. You know, and I had just done the tag, so I put the can away, you know, and I walk slow. I don't want to act like I'm running away from some kind of a crime and drawing attention to me or make myself look guilty of this. And I also know that, you know, that's Paul Stanley. So, you know, he's not a cop. And, yeah, so I see him as I'm putting my can away. He actually jogs up from the other people with him. He jogs up from them and catches up to me. And I'm like fiddling in my pockets because at this point I'm like right near terrestrius, which I was explaining. I don't know if it was in this or the other one. It's like a plant warehouse where they have all these plants like rose trees, cactuses, jade plants, and spider plants, and all types of plants. A big, huge building called terrestrius. On the roof, it's a glass greenhouse. So that particular building I was acting like I was somehow trying to fiddle with my keys or something. I don't remember what I was doing. I was right at that doorway under that canopy because it's the only logical place to look like you're busy doing something. You know, than that, it looks like I'm stopping and I'm stalking him or something. You know, so it seemed like the best location to keep everyone's tension low. So, you know, he jogs up to me, literally jogs up. He's like, oh, well, he's like, yo, you write graffiti? I see that everywhere, man. This and that. And he seemed kind of very jolly and happy. And he started talking about art, um, like the art of today. And like, I don't know, I was 17 years old, but he started pretty much getting into this whole thing about art, like pop art and like value and stuff like that. And I don't know. Like I said, I was just writing a graffiti tag on a wall. He was honestly, yo, he was talking about like graffiti and like as like art, like how it's talked about now. Like, yeah, almost like he was ahead of his time, but he seemed extremely knowledgeable about what he was saying. And like, something. I mean, he wasn't talking about culture and all that shit, but he was honestly going down that path of the lingo, the art lingo you hear today. It's kind of what he was saying to the best of my teenage brain from what I was getting from it. You know, I'm just like, I'm just catching a tag, bro. You know, I'm not thinking of all that crazy shit. didn't really exist. I mean, of course, at that point, like Gandhi and them had already like went around and people and traveled and sold artwork outside of New York and stuff like that. So it's already a known thing, like Style Wars and all these movies and stuff had already come out. So graffiti's a known thing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the best way to put it would be he seemed extremely knowledgeable with art, like art as a business. He seemed to, I don't remember much about what he was actually talking about, but I remember him honestly putting it in some kind of a category and be like, wow, that's so cool. I see that everywhere, man, and this and that. And I was like, wow, I said, yo, you're in that rock group, Kiss, right? Paul Stanley. And he smiled. And at that point, the other people actually had caught up to him and he walked away with them. I was like, oh shit, that's cool. And then from then on, like I bumped into him like many times. I'd bump into him in Sutton Pizza, buying pizza. I'd see him walking around and everything, yeah, all around the neighborhood. And he would see me and smile. And he'd go like that, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit there saying like he's inviting me to his wedding or nothing like that. But yeah, he actually, if he saw me, oh shit, there he is. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It was interesting. But yeah, he probably buys a lot of art or is somehow in the art industry from what I got, from his conversation. Like, I really wasn't paying attention. I'm still just looking around trying not to get locked up. I'm ready to run away from the dude if I have to, you know what I'm saying? So I just remember him going on something about art, like art, like pop art and like value or something. And then the people caught up and they went about their business. It was a little tan colored, like white dog, like a snowball or something it looked like. And yeah, and then after I see him, like I said, I'd see him in the pizza parlor and everything. And yeah, how's it going? Something like that. And that's pretty cool. I think so. Like if you asked him, he's out there, he's around. I did do a Google to see what the fuck, like where he actually was and his involvement with this area. I really didn't come up with anything. Apparently, he was born in Manhattan, but way up in like Riverdale or 200 and something street, up where they used to park the one trains, like 209th Street or something like that. That's way up. That's almost the Bronx. It's past some parts of the Bronx from where I'm at. But yeah, in the 80s, in the late 80s, he was living in this neighborhood. I'd assume somewhere around the late 50s, like 57th Street, 56th Street, like probably Sutton Place. You have a lot of movie stars and actors and stuff that live over there as well. Um, Governor Como, when me and Barron catching that shit on the river, when they vowed to get us and this and that, and Rudolph Giuliani. They were buffing the river and it was on the news. And we did the big thing under the heliport there. And then we did the spot on Roosevelt Island. We also did the wall all the way downtown on if you're on like 54th Street on the FDR Drive or looking over, there's a wall on Roosevelt Island. And that wall used to have days a Zephyr and a Revolt on it before me and Baron did the whole wall. But that shit, like, yeah, it actually, like, they faded off to the point it wasn't even there no more. So we went right over that shit, me and Baron. And there was other stuff, too. I believe at one point, no, Sharp actually had, but they had it Roosevelt Island up near 60, where I used to get it. 63rd Street, 62nd Street, that big wall, which was Tishman down below, where we were talking about in one of my lives, I believe, about the raves and, people going down the train tracks. That's where Timmy, Barron, 357, Emmett, which Irish, 17, 357. That's where they would go. And that's where Sharp and Delta had that as blockbusters. We had the one down there, and Days also had that one. Days and Zephyr, I believe, had that one too, way back, 82, 83. And I went over, it kept, you have like Van Halen, as years go by, people write over it and shit like that. So I went by and just took the whole shit out from then on through, Yeah. But, good times, man. Definitely good times. I wanted to tell you is I went out last night, real late. Actually, I asked someone what time it is. It was 4:17 in the morning. And I went out, I wanted to video the Christmas tree, how it's all nice and lit up and, like do a whole little Christmas thing. But yeah, I went there, the Christmas tree wasn't lit up. Saks Fifth Avenue was more lit up. with the you'll see. I'll put the video footage on after this, but I don't know why it wasn't lit. Like normally it's lit every night through Christmas, from Thanksgiving, like from the moment they put that shit up, and like I think Black Friday they light that sucker up, and it's lit. In the daytime they turn it off, but I was there like 4:17. I looked because it was starting to get blue out, and but I looked around. I was like, no, man, that shit should still be lit. Like they turned that shit off at like 6 or something like that. But my son, he was over there. He said he was over there like, hey, Bobby. Yeah, he was over there like 1, 2 in the morning. But he said it was lit. So I don't know. Maybe they turn it off early. I mean, I know Manhattan and New York City ain't got no money, but damn, they can't like spare a little electric like that. I don't know what happened. I don't want to go over there like prime time because you got all these like protesters jumping around and tourists and shit. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in a crowd like that. Not like the way shit's moving out here now. Hell no, I ain't doing no shit like that. You ain't gonna catch me in no Grand Central Station. Ain't no time soon. Hell no. I smell shit, man. I see shit. I feel it. Yeah, man. I'm honest, man. I'm staying out of crowds, man. Straight up. Yo, watch the footage. Take care, people. You know something that I just remembered? The gas station I'm talking about that I rode on with that little strip that they kept buffing it. It was between the parking lot, up the block from Terrestrius. That gas station had something to do with John Gotti Jr., the son. Something to do with in his arrest, like his indictment when he went to jail, and like with they stacked a bunch of cases against him. And they, like with the Sleewell, the guardian angel guy, during that period of time, he got hit with some charges, and that gas station had something to do with it. I remember it being in the newspaper. I remember camera crews and stuff being over there. I remember people talking about it in the neighborhood and stuff, but I don't remember the exact facts behind it. But you also had Scores up the block, and then half a block away, you had Chippendales. You had Decades, which was a nightclub for older people. They'd play like old 70s rock and roll, a disco rather, not rock and roll, like Casey and the Sunshine Band, the Bee Gees, they playing that. Yeah. Um, yeah, the whole neighborhood was popping right there. But yeah, I do remember that. John Gotti Jr. Because I remember thinking, shit, I'm over there writing on that spot. It's like, like I could get in trouble for that, like a different kind of trouble. And they kept buffing it, I kept painting it. But yeah, I remember looking at that like, oh shit. All right, take care. Fun facts. Yeah, man, it's funny. Yo, look at the video footage. I'm gonna post it now. That was me riding. I went out last night to try and get the Christmas tree and be festive and stuff like that with you guys, man. I figured I could go out late at night and no protest down there and stuff because you got a lot going on. I really am trying to stay out of crowds, man. I know things, man. I've been around. I get like a feeling in my gut, man. I go by my instincts, and right now, man, my instincts are telling me, man, don't go in no crowd areas, especially any religious type of gatherings. Just for now. All right, people, take care of yourselves, man. And thanks for all the love out there, man. For real.
That's a bad crash, huh? Look at that. Boom. Wow, look at that crash. Yeah, Manhattan, it'd be popping off, huh?
But at least you got something.
Yeah. Look at that, huh? Check it out, people. I'm going to show you the Christmas tree. But this right here is Christine Dior, Saks Fifth Avenue. It's pretty cool, man. It's huge. Hey, look at that, huh? Oh, wow, they don't got the Christmas tree lit. It's over there. Yeah, I figured I'd come out here real late at night. It's like 4 in the morning right now, Sunday morning. I figured I'd come out real late with no protesters and no one jumping around, But yeah, St. Patrick's Cathedral, see it? fucking beautiful, right? And right here, Christian Dior down there. You got the Trump Plaza. I wonder why a tree ain't lit. It's like this is better than the tree, yo. That's fucked up. I'm just gonna hop on my bike here. You still got tourists out. Gotta let go. Alright, let me go down this way. So I got my bicycle. I'm back on my old fix. But I do got front brake, see? I hooked up a front brake on it. Alright, let me get on this bike. There we go. And then Radio City Music Hall. And there's the ice skating rink. I'm gonna pull over. It's just I'm riding on my bicycle. I'm on a fixed gear, so I gotta stop pedaling and stop the bike. All right, yeah, there's the Christmas tree. It's not lit up yet. It looks good. And down there's the ice skating rink. Hello, how you doing? Merry Christmas. Yeah. Here you got the Radio City Music Hall. Yeah. This is where they were doing all the protests with the Palestinians jumping around. So that's why I came out. It's like 4 in the morning right now. But the tree should be lit. I guess they don't light it yet, you know. The city's too broke to save money on the electric bill, right? Oh, shit. Yeah, Rainbow Room. NBC Studios. Yeah. Like Rockefeller Plaza. The Radio City Music Hall. You got the cops out there. The men in blue. Man, they got it bad, man. All you got is people fucking yelling at them all day in their faces. They ain't making no real money. And the mayor gonna defund them. But yeah, so Radio City Music Hall. Like I said, normally this place would be packed. It's really like 3, 4 in the morning, right? Well, yeah, it's like 4:30 actually. Now that's one of these people. See that? It's a subway action. You guys know what time it is? Yo, you guys know what time it is? What, about 4? The time?
4:17.
4:17, thanks. Yeah, right there, 4:17. Okay. 4:17. But yeah, this is the city I live in, people. Ain't she pretty? This is Manhattan. This is New York City. Yeah, this ain't Brooklyn. This ain't the Bronx. This ain't Queens or Staten Island. Yeah. Well, hello there, ladies.
Hi.
How's it going? Yeah. You know, down here is the Rockefeller subway station. See? I'm sorry, guys. I thought it would be a lot more festive, you know, with the Christmas, but Alright, I'm gonna shut it off now. If I see anything else that's Christmassy, I'll send you guys. Look at that city court building. I'll turn on the video again. Yeah. See? Let's see if you get me in there.
All right, I was wrong. I was just talking to my son, and he said no, the tree was lit last night. He was over there at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the tree was lit. So I guess I just went by too late. Now I assume they're turning it off so everyone will go away and then they could clean up around there. Because back in the days, that tree would stay lit until the sun comes up. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe because all the protests and stuff like that, they actually turn it off. So this way everyone's, oh man, they go home and they have time to clean up and get rid of all the paper cups and the stuff that people leave down there. And they get it prepared for the next day because that's what it looks like when I was there. They were cleaning and shit like that. So yeah, I bet you that's what they're doing. So next week I'm gonna definitely get out there a little more earlier. And so they are lighting the tree. They've been lighting it since like probably Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Normally they get it put up about that time and lit. So it's probably been lit every night. It's just they're shutting it off earlier. They probably. I'll get there when my son was there. Take care of yourselves, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah.